Hey guys, I was watching Jason's live the other day or the other night, and I know a lot of y'all were asking about what's wrong with me, my ears, and things like that. Yeah, there you go. Anyway,
Go ahead and say it out loud.
uh,
Uranus Police Department. Thank you, Kelly Durbin. This is Melanie in the background, and Matt's here too.
anyway, I still feel real. I don't know if you want to say zoned out or what, but I have a lot of equilibrium problems, balance. It's always like you're walking into one of those. I don't know if you remember as a kid or something, going into those places over there, like in Disney World or things like that, where you walk into the rooms and everything. Like balls are rolling uphill and water running uphill, but yet it just works with your mind. That's what my mind does to me. Um, I've been having to use a cane to kind of stabilize myself to walk around. It gets pretty rough. Um, the spinning, like a tornado spin, violently spinning. Um, I kind of got over that probably about a week ago, maybe. Not quite a week ago.
For a day or two.
Yeah. And then when I get up in the morning or even during the night, I wake up, when I roll over, it'll wake me up because it's, starting to spin. So I have to do my little exercise right quick to try to get what I believe the crystals might be misaligned, or there's something inside the fluid system that my brain is detecting movement, but when there is none, so it makes me feel like I'm moving all the time.
When you did that, talking about the crystals, wasn't it a doctor that mentioned it to you about the
Well,
exercises to do?
yeah, I went to a therapist, and they say to do that. I think it's the Epley massage or something to that effect. It's where you roll your head at certain degrees and let your nystagmus, or your either whether it's vertical or horizontal or it's rotational, because I get all three. And I feel like my eyes are just bouncing around all over the screen, so to speak. But sometimes I've asked Melanie to look at my eyes and see if they're bouncing around, and she'll say no, she doesn't see it. But inside my head, it's bouncing around big time, and then
Well, I don't see well anyway, but you've asked Matt that too, and he doesn't see it either. So,
Well, I did see it once. It was just going slow from his right to his left,
so it was a horizontal,
but it wasn't fast. It was just
right,
kind
a
of
slow
slow.
horizontal nystagmus. But yeah, it affects me a lot sometimes. Like right now, I think I'm okay. Um, I get
but you haven't been okay all day.
no, just off and on, you know,
It could be because you just had lunch from.
right here, the Agave restaurant right down the street here. We
Order it to go,
Order
like
it to
everywhere
go.
else. It was delicious.
And,
Thank you very much.
we go by and pick it up and have it. And
It was very good.
we had the mini tacos, which are excellent. Matt had the Mexican burger,
Mexi burger
Mexi
and
burger.
also some kind of taco.
A fajita taco.
Fajita
Fajita
taco.
taco.
It was all
This
delicious.
is all very good.
So you do feel a little better because you've just eaten, but
Yes, but I generally just sit around. I don't do much. I went outside for a little while, but lately it's been like in the 90s, almost 100 degrees. So we've been kind of staying inside, but it's pretty rough sometimes. But
what have your doctors told you as far as treatment? Do you take medication?
yeah, I I take Zofran, which is a nausea and dizziness type of drug that it's under the tongue. Let it dissolve into your system. Kind of helps you relax a little bit. And then I have some meclizine I take, it's or introvert. It's something. They're the same, I believe. Anyway,
So you do take a few medications.
yes, and then I take a diuretic called triantrazine, HCTZ. Anyway,
So you're no new guy to this disease. It seems to me, as your wife, that it's really hit you hard, in the last couple of years. But how long I don't even know exactly when this started with you. Do you remember?
it's been years ago.
Like, wasn't it after the kids left home, or I don't even remember?
I mean, even when the kids were here, I would have just short bouts. That wasn't really.
Oh, yeah.
And but and then when I first started working at the PD too, I had them, during those times and stuff. But they were few and far between. It was just starting. It seemed like.
It basically seems to me like, now I don't think there's any relation, but maybe since you've retired and gotten a little older, it's gotten a little worse. Or I wonder what it is that has made it change, honey. That's made it worse.
I don't know, unless atmospheric pressures or magnetic waves, sunspots, play havoc on the earth and stuff. It could play havoc on a person's energy too,
So what do you think, honey, about Gooby getting sick almost to the day you did? Almost to the day.
I don't know. And then we kind of both got over it at the same time,
You
and
did,
then
and then you fell
a few days
back.
later, it just
he
kind of
didn't.
like started hitting me again, and
So he was treated for an ear infection. He had antibiotics and steroids.
right.
You take steroids for that or no? No. Anyway, so it's not like you're a new person to this. And on the live chat, when people were asking just what was wrong with you, people were saying vertigo.
Vertigo is just one aspect of it, which is one of the worst parts of it is the vertigo. But I
Well-
have internal pressures. My ears. I guess you might say like the labyrinth is destroyed basically in my ears, and there's so much pressure building up all the time. It's constant. Like if I don't know if a lot of y'all have felt like riding in an airplane and your ears start popping and feeling full all the time, and you just can't get it to pop. And then you start hearing zipping sounds and zaps and a lot of bugs.
Like the locust
like
sounds,
locust
right?
sound constantly, or you'll hear a very high pitch zing that just continues, and it just gets tiring. Just that's what I was trying to ask Matt the other day. I said, "What does silence sound like?" To him, and he says, "Well, I do hear something like the locust that you're talking about."
I think we all do in
Just
some way. I
some
hear
kind of
it.
a hum or something.
But yours is like constant?
Oh yeah, the locust is constant. It's just like they're just having an orgy out there. It's just zzz, zzz, zzz.
Yeah, I can
But-
get a refrain from that. I don't have that all the time, but
But when it starts zapping, and my mom's even told me too, it sounds like electricity zapping across her brain because she has Meniere's in her, I believe it's her left ear, and she suffers with that. Unfortunately, I have it in both ears.
what were you
know.
telling me the statistics are on the bilateral? There's only 67,000 in the United States or something like that?
Yeah, well, I think it was like almost 700,000 people that have Meniere's, and only 10% of those, which would be what, close to 67 or
Yeah.
70,000 people throughout the United States has it bilaterally in both ears, and I'm just one of those statistics.
But as far as you know, your mom has it in the one ear, but do any of your brothers suffer from that? I don't recall them ever.
No,
They don't, right?
No, I do know that on my mother's side, her brother also had Meniere's.
Was he bilateral, or do you know?
No, I don't know.
And I'm wondering, what are the chances one of your sons might have something like that? I wonder.
Well, I hope they don't develop it, and
I mean, there's always a chance, but
Well,
probably not. Probably not.
And I'm not really sure
Because
if
they're
it
all
is,
old enough, maybe they would have experienced something already. So I
if
shouldn't
it's
ask
really
that.
hereditary or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they can't figure it out. What causes Meniere's.
Well, see, now that's the thing. I know, like, again, some of the viewers might have said, it's vertigo. To me, someone says vertigo, that means you're dizzy. Okay, well, I'm your wife. I know it far exceeds that. It has brought you down this time, honey. I've never seen it like this before.
And I've never really been around you myself either when you were having bouts like this. Usually it's, maybe up to a week or so, and then it just kind of goes away and you're back to normal. But this has been ongoing.
And you've witnessed some things even I have not witnessed before, as far as like basically fainting while standing up.
They're just dropouts. Best I know, or I was explained it. I was just sitting there, and when I turned around and looked, I just went, "Oh gosh, I see stars." And I was telling Melanie and Matt, who were sitting here at the table, and I was standing there, and I was like, "I see stars," but it wasn't regular stars like you see when it's like little sparks. It's not that type of stars. These were like colored stars, just millions of colored stars coming together. And I just turned to him and I just went, "Oh no," and then I don't remember anything.
Cool.
And so at that point, he was standing up, and I'll tell you after this little story what he was doing. And Matt, basically, we were sitting at the table, not a foot from him, and Matt jumped up because you could see the blank look in your eye, and you started leaning towards the wall, thank goodness. But if you hadn't have gone where you did, you would have fallen flat on your face. But Matt caught you, so you were staring blank-eyed at me, and I was looking at you as Matt was holding you up, saying, "Talk to me," and you didn't blink or nothing. I mean, it was.
I couldn't see.
And you don't have no memory of that either.
No, I couldn't see
And
you.
see, when I had a hold of you, I had my arms around you, kind of bear hugging you, and I could feel your heartbeat, and you were breathing, but you were just out cold, I guess, and knocked out because you weren't answering, you weren't responsive, and all of a sudden you were just, what's going on?
Yes, you were standing there with Matt holding you, staring at me, and you came to.
Yeah.
Now I have to make fun of you a little bit to the viewers. Yeah, you know what I'm going to say. He's always been known as the broom man in our family. He loves to sweep, obviously, and he likes to mop. And he got this new steamer for the floor that vacuums and mops at the same time. And Matt has one like it, and I guess he's a clean floor guy too. And Dad was sitting at the table with Matt and myself, and he got up and went and got the steamer thing, and bent over to plug it in, and then stood back up. And I think that could have possibly been the beginning of the lightheadedness
Right.
and stuff.
And that's
I don't know what made you go out like you did.
yeah.
I think it was because you just,
When I
when
bent
you went
over,
to plug it in or unplug it, I don't remember, plug it in, I think, and when you stood up, it was just, you stood up too quick. That happens to me a lot.
right?
And
Right.
I don't have your
But it
issues.
I just went completely out. I don't know. I guess I just passed out on my feet.
Yes.
Because I don't remember. It just was like I could see, but I couldn't see. You know what I mean? It was just like I knew there was something there, but I couldn't decipher what it was.
And then you came to and didn't remember that. Well, you've already mentioned your medication, so obviously you're being treated by several, doctors in this area and stuff, and you're doing everything you can. We do feel like this has been the longest bout now, I would say, that you've ever experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been with you through all those years, so I know. And
But the only difference in this one is the tie between myself and that little chihuahua that we have.
absolutely.
That's what really has me, like, maybe animals can have Meniere's disease also, I don't know. I hadn't really researched if Chihuahuas can have Meniere's.
But you swear that he does. That's what you told me. So it looks like
His
he's...
identical symptoms, symptoms that he was doing, his
For vestibular.
the way he would
His what?
was
lay to one
vestibular
side, and
vertigo.
you could tell that he was something was happening with that little guy, and I was having issues, and it was like we could both just relate to each other. Like, I understand, and I'd feel so sorry for him because he'd get up and he'd cry and whine and walk and holding his leg up like his leg was hurting, but it wasn't his leg. His equilibrium was so off, like mine gets off, that you just start reaching, and he doesn't have any way to express his thoughts, so he just started screaming like, what is going on with me?
But we did take him to the vet, and he said it
Yes.
was that ear infection.
It was an inner ear infection, and he's been treated for it, and thank God
He got over it.
He's over it now.
But it took him 2 weeks after the medication.
But
the medication
It's
lasted
like
2
when we
weeks.
started together, and whenever he got well, it was like I kind of had relief too. For 2 or 3 days, I felt pretty good. I thought, oh man, I got this beat. And then, I don't know, things just started changing, and I talked to my brother a lot, and we discussed things about, he studies a lot of the electromagnetic fields of the earth and how it affects people, and
That would be Uncle Vance
The
if you
dentist.
watch Jason's videos.
right. Anyway, he and I were discussing it, that there's probably a good probability that the way the vibration is at this point is so high that and it has been all this month, it seems like, abnormally high. So there could be something interfering with my juju, in my mind, and it doesn't. Others can't detect it. I can, and probably Gooby, the little dog, probably can at times, depending on how strong it is to him. But for some reason, during those periods when he did have an ear infection, so to speak, I guess he did. He suffered a lot, and I knew exactly what he felt like.
And if I did make a video about that just the other day called 5G,
Yeah.
and Gooby was part of it. So go back and listen to that, and we talked about him. But I'm glad, honey, that you wanted to let the folks know, because I know that none of us understand. I've watched you more than anyone. The kids hadn't been around, and your family don't witness it, but they know this time. Your brothers know that it's lasted a long time, and
Because like you were saying, this is the longest so far. I know it was years ago that I would have 4 days, 5 days maybe, and I'd be over it. And then it got a little longer, and then the worst that I had before this one was like 14 days, and I was like couldn't hardly do anything, and so then this time around, I was, and thank goodness that was that hadn't been a while, because I had been taking the medication and things like that, and I hadn't had a spell or anything in quite some time, and that's what I was telling Melanie. It's like, wow, it's been great not having any issues in quite some time, and because I was generally having them about every 6 months to 8 months, I would have a little bout, and when this one hit, and it stayed and stayed and stayed, and it's still here. Like I said, I do those maneuvers to align the crystals back. It's not the crystals, I know that. It's just my inner ears are just so disturbed at this point that it's just something I have to live with, But anyway.
well, I know everybody appreciates you finally telling them what's going on, and I know they've been missing seeing your beautiful face. What? Leave me alone.
Oh,
Hey, big boy, how you doing?
Hey, sis, what's going on?
You are such a handsome, good-looking fella. That sister of mine, Melanie, she ain't got no idea how good she's got it.
Oh, God. It's not helping my head any either, sis.
Well, George, I sure hope I get to be in this video you making. As you know, I hijacked your channel yesterday or sometime. Did you see that?
Somebody was saying something about that. I don't know. I didn't watch it yet. I guess I better.
Did my sister get mad about it?
Well, I don't know. She wouldn't talk to me for a little bit, so I don't know. Maybe she was mad because I watched it. I don't know.
All right, George, I'm gonna go on about my business now. It's a Saturday night. I think I might go hit this big old town of Riviera and see if I can find me a man. Maybe I can have me another boy.
How about that old boy that hangs out over there?
Let me go see him. We'll see y'all later.
All right, sis.
Oh, honey, has my old crazy redneck sister been around here again?
Thank God. Where you been? Man.
Well, thank everybody for watching, and I hope you got some informative information and got a good laugh too.
Oh, man.
So,
She's calling her.
see y'all later.
Bye.